политические цели в целом выполнены,
The political goals have generally been met because today we are still at the center of political world. Of course, there has been a certain decline in attention to Ukraine, but nevertheless, we continue to be at the center of important political global discussions. We continue to be at the center of the work of the pro-Ukrainian democratic coalition. And on the contrary, we see changes in the rhetoric of the European countries, changes in the rhetoric concerning the war and the assessment of Russia, an assessment of what should be the final outcome of this war. This means that politically we have succeeded in making it impossible in the modern world to get attention of concentration on Ukraine. Militarily, of course, not to the same extent. And I want us not to put ourselves into a pit of total depression. There were significant successes that shocked many. This is, for example, the fight for the Black Sea, where Ukraine was very successful, and accordingly the Russian Black Sea fleet today is rather weak. Alternative grain corridor through which more than 8 million tons of product have already been shipped. The export revenues that Ukraine receives are working accordingly. This is an important event that has shown that Russia, to put it mildly, is militarily incapable. These stories that they can totally control the waters of the Black Sea or even peninsula of Crimea are not true. As for the Frontline War, the fragmentary parts of what is happening on Frontline, we don't have results that we in principle hoped for, and they have both subjective and objective prerequisites. I would like us to be fair again. Yes, we wanted some breakthrough things. We wanted a collapse of the front lines, tactical defeats of Russia, because this led to additional demoralization and certain irreversible processes in the Russian Federation itself, which would significantly accelerate the federalization of the war. Unfortunately, this was not achieved this year. But this doesn't mean that today adjustments are not being made to tactics and strategy. And again, we see that the Russian Federation has also changed the approach to war. They no longer consider it a special military operation as part of propaganda. They consider it as full-fledged war, which should lead to such consequences for Russia as endless mobilization, putting the economy on a war footing, and accordingly almost total isolation from the outside world. That is, the Russian Federation is finally turning into a zone of powerless slaves, without political competition, which is ready to kill citizens of other countries.